Hi, I've been planning on doing videos having to do with recovery, and this is my first one. Hi, I'm going by Stormchild on YouTube, so I'm Stormchild, and I'm an alcoholic. Um, I figured my first video should start at the beginning. Step one, I admitted that we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol and our lives had become unmanageable. Admitting. What does admitting mean? Does it mean that I go to a meeting and say, "Hi, I'm whoever I am, and I'm an alcoholic"? No, it doesn't mean that. That's just a custom that has developed over the years at meetings. When you go to a movie theater and they admit you into the theater, are they showing you the back door? No, they're not. They're letting you in. Admitting that we're powerless over alcohol is an internal thing. Yeah, we might tell somebody else, but it's an internal thing. It's understanding it deep inside your soul. Um, if you don't understand it and feel that it's right and true, you're probably not going to quit. Um, Now, why did I admit that I'm an alcoholic? Um, Actually, I've done this step a few times because I relapsed a few times. Um, it becomes obvious that you've got a problem when you're laying in a hospital bed and you're keeping your eyes shut because you don't want to see the spiders and snakes that aren't really there. You start to understand that you might be an alcoholic when you've wrecked your health so bad that you're stuck laying in a hospital bed for an entire month and you can't get up because if you do, the blood clots that are in your lungs will go up into your brain and kill you. You have a lot of time to think when that happens. You admit you're an alcoholic when you keep drinking even though you know that it's what's causing your problems in the first place. Now there's a second part to this step. Um, you came to believe that no, that's the second step. I get a little nervous on these things, you know. Admitted that we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. That month that I was in the hospital, yeah, I didn't just make up a scenario. I was in a hospital for an entire month. Um, Nobody came to visit me. There were people who knew I was there, No one came to visit me that entire month. I don't know about you, but I don't want to die alone. I don't want to die alone and for nobody to miss me and for to not make a difference. It's pretty unmanageable when this was a long time ago. This is from the first time I did the first step. It's pretty rough when you're running around Detroit in the middle of the night and you're wearing like 6-inch heels. One of the heels breaks off and it doesn't even occur to you to go home, just walking around with one heel broken. Because, hey, you need some more crack. Yes, I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic. Your power, when you can believe your life is unmanageable, well, I do. When you absolutely lose everything, flunk out of college, lose your job, lose everything, all because of drinking and taking drugs. I've had that happen a few times. The most recent time was 11 years ago. I literally lost everything. That's when I spent the month in the hospital and nobody came to see me because nobody cared to see me because I had done it to myself. I may be single right now, but I'm not alone. I have some friends that care today. My family cares today. People care today. It's because of the program. Granted, that's not part of the first step because the first step is just admitting that you're powerless and that your life is unmanageable, and it definitely was. There are 20 questions. I don't have them like right here, right now, but you can find them online if you haven't seen them yet, that ask you questions about your drinking. There are 20 of the questions. If you answer 3 or more, then you're probably an alcoholic. It's about 2 or 3 that I don't answer yes to, which means 17 of them were right on the money. That kind of says you might be an alcoholic. If you drink to black out most of the time, you're probably an alcoholic. That's me. You see, I can't tell you you're an alcoholic. I can't tell you you're a drug addict. I can't tell you those things because I'm not walking around in your skin. I'm just walking around in mine. So I know what's right for me, and I know what I know deep down in my heart. And it's like, I don't judge you for what you do because, hey, that's your path, not mine. I can only judge my own. And I know that I'm an alcoholic. Some more reasons that I'm an alcoholic, and I know that I'm an alcoholic, that my life is unmanageable. Waking up in the morning. I'm a pacifist, by the way. I don't believe in, fighting, killing, whatever. I really don't. Some people might find that know me, might find that a little hard to believe, but it's actually true. I am extremely nonviolent. Um, just, yeah, I'm violent in some ways that actually isn't violent. But I'm against violence. Just let's leave it at that. And I woke up with my knuckles and hands, like this, from here to here, all scraped up and bloody on both hands. I found that very upsetting because I had absolutely no idea what happened. Um, and I racked my brain. I had no memory whatsoever of how my knuckles got like that. Seeing it like that, you would think, well, yeah, it's got to be because, I was hitting something. Um, and generally, when people are hitting something with both hands, it's usually a person. Um, I had to call people because I didn't even remember who I had been with the night before. I had to call pretty much everyone I knew and ask them if I had been with them that night and if they knew what happened to my hands. It turned out, luckily, that I had stopped myself from falling down a flight of stairs with stucco walls with my hands, with my fists. Yeah, that's not cool. To not remember something like that. And it's not normal. It's not normal for your family to shun you. It's not normal to disappear and for people to wonder if you're alive or dead. It's not normal to be forced into treatment by your family. And when you get there, a family member stealing your coat and your shoes so you can't leave. It was the middle of winter. My mother made the excuse of I had a nice leather jacket and didn't want anybody to try and steal it or something. Yeah, it's so I let her take the jacket. I didn't realize that she had the pink high tops stuck inside the coat. Yeah, I had pink high tops. This was back in the 80s. Um, yeah, I've been doing this recovery stuff for a bit of a time now. Like I said, I've been sober for a little over 11 years. And I had a 2.5-year relapse before that 11 years. And before that, I had been sober for 17. And before that, I had been sober for a year. And before that, I had been sober for 3 months. And before that, I had been sober for a month. And before that, I had been sober for 2 months. Before that, yeah, I was a fuck up. I shouldn't say that. I was messing up. I was drinking and taking drugs and doing it as much as I possibly could. My goal was to black out because I didn't want to be me. I used to put on my makeup in a little tiny compact mirror because I didn't want to see my whole face because I hated myself that much. I literally stayed stoned for years. Yeah, and that was as a teenager. I actually started with the drugs when I was 8 years old. When my son turned 8, I looked at him and I was in amazement because he was still a baby. And it's like I was doing that as a baby. But it was because I wanted to disappear. And I did a good job of disappearing. But I'm not doing that today because things have changed. Um, Admitting that I was powerless over alcohol and drugs and that my life became unmanageable was a start to a new life, a new, pretty awesome life. I'm not saying everything has been fantastic. Oh no, everything hasn't been. Life is ups and downs, and that's the way life is. But I can deal with life the way it is today. And that's an important thing. And I can be me today. I don't have to worry. I didn't want to be me. Like I said, I hated myself. I didn't want to exist. I exist today. I have hopes and dreams and all that. And I am. Whether you like me or not, think I do things right or think I do things wrong, what I am today is me. And the first step is the beginning of that journey. I'm going to be doing all the rest of the steps as well. But you got to start at the beginning, don't you? Well, I think I do. Well, have a good night and enjoy.